President Stoops. So President Trump this weekend said, and I'm quoting him, something has happened to Vladimir Putin. He went on to say, quoting again, that he's gone absolutely crazy. Is that how you would describe Putin right now?
Well, I've been speaking with President Trump on numerous occasions, and I think there's always a strategy behind what Putin does, and that strategy is a strategy of delay. And while we're speaking, he continues his war of aggression in Ukraine, and we're talking about at least 5,000 dead or wounded soldiers per day. So if that's defined as crazy, then so be it.
You mentioned your many conversations.
Shalom, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and highest honor to Yahweh Basham, Yahushai Basham, Chakadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect of the Hebrew Israelites. This is the brother Arakia and Khan. On this lesson, I want to speak about the war threat. Okay, the scriptures speak about wars and rumors of wars. So, the relations between America and Russia, you see, they are not the best, you can say. Okay, a couple of weeks ago, Trump called Putin crazy. Okay, so this is the so-called president of Finland. Made some remarks on this subject, and then I have another video also of CNN showing how Kremlin reacted to Trump calling Putin crazy. Okay, so are we seeing the prophecies? You see, and all of these European nations, they're also going to turn against America. You know, it says in Revelation 17, these shall hate the whore. Okay? There's a lot of things going on, man. See, Trump just fucking freestyling. He's just doing whatever. You see? So let's play.
With President Trump, I know you had a surprise visit with him in Mar-a-Lago this spring, and you played golf. And I know you're an extremely good golfer. So he then posted a picture of you. He was praising your golf skills. Obviously, that was just before tariffs. But even after the tariffs were announced, Mr. President, you sat next to Trump at Pope Francis's funeral. So how often do you speak with him?
We don't have to worry about delivery fees with Gold Plus.
Älä huolehdi kuljetusmaksuista.
Well, you know, I've had the opportunity to obviously meet him on a few occasions and then speak over the phone fairly regularly. And, you know, it's normal diplomatic exchanges of ideas. And I'm glad that I can do that because, as you understand, I come from a small country. And whenever the president of a small country is able to speak with the president of the United States, it's a good part of our diplomacy.
A small country, but a crucial country, and you have the longest land border with Russia in Europe. So when you talk of Putin...
Which is true. Okay, it's about 1,300 kilometers border, something like 800 miles between Finland and Russia. It's a big border, man.
Know of what you speak, right? About 830 miles, we're showing it here. Right now, Putin is building up his military along Finland's border. Mr. President, what exactly are you seeing him do along your border right now? What is happening?
Well, I mean, we Finns are cool, calm, and collected. And sometimes when you see things in the international media, it's perhaps a little bit twisted. We have the border under full control. Russia has always had military bases along our border. And there is a normal buildup. You have to remember that 4 brigades were moved from the Leningrad military district when the war began in Ukraine. And our expectation is that there will be a buildup after the war is over, and that buildup will continue. And, you know, the reason is very simple. We have one of the largest militaries in Europe, together with Turkey, Ukraine, and Poland. And on top of that, we have just doubled NATO's border. So that's normal Russian activity. We have obligatory military service, 900,000 men and women who've done it. We have over 60...
Which, a scripture came to mind, which These are the times of war, man. Let the weak say we are strong. Which I shouldn't even do that, because I know it's in Joel. Okay, this is Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. So he was listing about the war capabilities of Finland, because this is time of war. Okay, as it says in Ecclesiastes, there are different times for different things. Okay, Ecclesiastes 3 and 8, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. And this is the time that we are living in right now. Also, it tells you in Matthew chapter 24, verse I believe it's verse 22. It says, Salakia, that's the wrong verse. Yeah, verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So these are these end time prophecies. Okay? So we will get back to Joel chapter 3, verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Okay, mobilization. Finland, for example, has huge reserves because of the mandatory military for all the males, which I didn't go, by the way, because that's not a place for Jake to be in, for Israel to be in. Okay. So yeah, there are some ways to avoid it, but mostly people go because it is mandatory. Okay, another option also is that you do a community service, which that's not a place for you to be as a Jake to be in a military. Okay, and Finland, for example, is a country of over 5 million people only. So, but he said that, you know, Finland is strong, one of the strongest militaries. Okay, because the reserves are huge. It's huge numbers, something like fucking million people, man. Majority of the men see out there in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, they you know, reservists, you know, they're part of the military, man. So we living in the time of war, we living in the end times, man. The weak are saying they are strong. And that war where everything is gonna come together is in the Middle East, okay? The war of Armageddon, okay? Which I'm gonna save another video of Trump calling Putin crazy for later. I'm not just gonna get a couple of more minutes of this, then I'm gonna wrap it up for this one.
And that build-up will continue. And, you know, the reason is very simple. We have one of the largest militaries in Europe, together with Turkey, Ukraine and Poland. And on top of that, we have just doubled NATO's border. So that's normal Russian activity. We have obligatory military service, 900,000 men and women who've done it. We have over 60 F-18s, which bought 64
Hey, 900,000 men or women who have done it. So that's your reserves, man. Of course, excluding those that are over a certain age. Of course, if you're in your 70s, you're not going to be super efficient, at least in most of the job requirements, you know, at least in the physical ones. Okay, maybe you can, you know, do something, but you're not really going to be of use. But that's the number, you know, 900,000, that's a lot.
F-35s. We have the largest artillery in Europe together with Poland. And as I keep on saying, we don't have it because we're worried about Sweden. We have it because we want to create a deterrent against Russia. So, one of the borders that the French or anyone else should be least worried about is the Finnish border. As we put it here, we got this, and especially we got this with our allies.
And when you talk about defending that border,
We got this, which is funny. Okay, this is the pride of Esau. This motherfucker is an Edomite, man. Okay. So what you gonna say when the least of the flock are gonna draw also the Finnish army out? Okay, talking about how Israelis are gonna drag America and all of the NATO countries to war in the Middle East, and there's no coming back from there. This is World War III. When this system goes completely down, Yahushua comes back to install the kingdom of Israel. Are you still gonna say, we got this? Man, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, man. The time of war is a prerequisite for the kingdom. And we are now living in the time of war. Just look at all of the news going on today, man. So we know that the end is very, very close. Shalom.